So pooling. So in the last video we discussed convolution operations, strides and padding. So in pooling we are given this input image and this is a kernel called as pooling kernel. This is a kernel called as pooling kernel. This kernel has no values, right? This kernel has no values. It has only, this is empty kernel. So what we do in pooling, we place this kernel on this image like we placed it in case of convolution. We place this kernel, empty kernel on this image on the top left corner, right? And then what we do, there are two types of pooling. One is called as max pooling, another is called as average pooling. In max pooling, from this region, from this field where we have put or placed this kernel, we retrieve the maximum value among all the values here. So the maximum value among all these values here is 6, right? So, and we write this 6 here. Right? We are getting the maximum values among all these values. Then we slide this kernel by 1, assuming the stride is 1. Taking the stride as 1, we slide this kernel by 1. Again, from this region, we retrieve the maximum value. The maximum value is 7, that is copied here. Then we slide it by 1, retrieve the maximum value is 8. Slide it by 1, get the maximum value is 10. Right? Then slide it by 1, get the maximum value is 11. Slide it by 1, get the maximum value is 12. Slide it by 1, get the maximum value from here, maximum value is 14. Slide it by 1, get the maximum value, it is 15. Slide it by 1, get the maximum value, it is 16. So this is the output image after applying this max pooling operation. We have an input image, we have this pooling kernel whose size is 2 by 2, which is empty kernel sort of thing. We place this kernel on this image starting from top left corner and slide it, and we just retrieve the maximum value from that region where we have placed that kernel. So this is max pooling, retrieving the maximum. In average pooling, we retrieve the average of these values, right? Now, what is the importance of this? Importance of this pooling is the something called as location invariance. Location invariance means if the object is here or here or here or here, anywhere, so we'll be able to retrieve that object. So max pooling helps us to retrieve, let's say this is the object. Right? So max pooling helps us to retrieve that object irrespective of the location. So that's the use of max pooling or pooling operation. So pooling is one of the important operation, and we perform this pooling as a layer. We place pooling layer in the convolutional neural network, right? Like we place convolution operation as a layer. We place this pooling operation also as a layer in CNN.